Tiapa opened it and saw a rickety old Englishman with a small briefcase in hand and drenched to his skin, staring back at him. There were patches of moss and mud on his trousers, so Tiapa assumed that the man may have slipped and fallen somewhere. His cheeks were hollow, his face pale, he was shivering in the cold, his teeth chattering incessantly. Incessantly means constantly, continuously. Now suddenly there was a knock on the door. Tiapa opened the door to an old, drenched and cold Englishman with a briefcase. Tiapa welcomed him in. The rain continued for 3 days at a stretch. It was no great surprise that they soon ran out of food. Ran out of food means lack of. Tiapa searched the kitchen and located a small premise stove and a torn umbrella. He found such things. He ran to the corner shop to get rice, lentils, potatoes, onions, and a bottle of oil. However, trying to light the stove was another matter for him. He would have surely burnt the house down had not the Englishman come running and adjusted the flame. So, oh God, the Englishman saved the boy Tiapa and the house too. Tiapa's visitor was very affable. He had high fever yet refused to have anything but tea and condensed milk. He did not eat anything, just he had only tea and condensed milk. Although Tiapa was a wee bit curious, the old man consciously avoided talking about his banknotes. Instead, he simply stacked them back into his briefcase once they had dried. Just he was thinking of the money and he was thinking to dry them up. Beams of bright sunshine flooded the rooms on the third day. Now the third day comes, and what happens? There was bright sunshine. There was no rain. The sky was clear and blue. Tiapa packed his bags, bid farewell to the Englishman, and left for the station. And he was very happy, because the stranger was a nice man. He was not so disturbing for him anymore. On his return to Calcutta, he was told that the family had decided to go to Ghatshila instead because he had taken too long to return. His eldest aunt had already left for the place the previous day. The turn of events quite upset Tiapa. Now Tiapa got sad. He was very sad because he was excited to go the same place. 15 years passed by. Tiapa was a family man now. Now he was a grown-up man. He was not a boy now. Once deciding to visit Kurseong during the puja vacations, he looked up the same house again. So he decided to visit the same house again. It was available. This time he voluntarily undertook the responsibility of inspecting it. Hence, on reaching the place, he deposited his suitcase with the station master and quickly walked up to the house. He was so excited to visit that same place when he was a boy, when he was a child. But now he was a man, family man. He planned to return that very evening. He decided that he will return to his home that very evening. Every bit of this visit mirrored his previous one. Now he was recalling those days, those moments with the stranger, with the Englishman. The charming house, the crooked, creaky gate, the absence of the watchman, the open glass door, the light in the bedrooms, and the water from the taps. He was recalling each and every moment. He was very excited. Again, once again, now he was in the same house. As if that were not enough, clouds enveloped the sky, the mountains and the valley in blinding darkness, and it began to rain heavily. Now it again started raining heavily. Suddenly Tyapa heard knocks on the door. Just as on that night 15 years ago, he opened the door. Before him there stood an old rickety English man with a small briefcase. The same man who had visited Tyapa years ago. His eyes were hollow, his face pale, and his teeth chattered from the cold. Again, he remembered the same day. Tyapa saw the patches of moss and mud on his trousers. Tyapa was scared of the man. He thought that he was a ghost. "May I please come in?" he asked. Tyapa held the door wide open, slid past the Englishman, and tore down the curved path towards the railway station. Tyapa got afraid as he had seen a ghost. He ran as if he wanted to escape the situation and ran towards the railway station. The rain lashed on without stopping. He was ignoring and just he wanted to go back to his home. Not once did Tyapa stop to look back. Even for a second he did not look back. He wanted to escape the situation. He wanted to leave the place. Now let's summarize the chapter A Narrow Escape, written by Leela Majumdar, a Bengali writer who is famous for her writings regarding children. Here the narrator is the relative of Tyapa. We have read that there is a boy named Tyapa in this story. He is sent on a recce of a house. He visits the house where he does not find even a watchman. But suddenly an Englishman comes and they stay together. It starts raining heavily, so the Englishman is drenched. The boy Tyapa offers him some blankets, warm clothes and tea. The Englishman takes tea and condensed milk because he is suffering from fever. On the third day, the sun shines brightly and Tyapa wishes goodbye to the Englishman. And then he leaves the place. After returning to Calcutta, his uncle says that they have seen some another place and they have decided to go there. Tyapa feels depressed and sad. He is excited to go the same place but all in vain. Then after 15 years, Tyapa is now a family man. He decides to visit the same place he visited in his childhood. He reaches the same place and then finds that it starts raining. The same house is available. Suddenly he hears a knocking sound at his door. He finds the same man he met earlier in his childhood. He is drenched and moss and mud can be seen on his trousers. Tyapa gets scared of him and runs away towards the station. He takes the Englishman as a ghost. So in this way, we have seen how Tyapa has a narrow escape from an Englishman. I hope you have understood the whole story, the character of Tyapa, and One more thing you have to remember, that the narrator is the relative of Tyapa, not Tyapa himself.